This is the video I am making covering the whole position behind my Bouvier going back to the breeder. I chose a Bouvier, which is a heritage breed. They are highly protected by the breeders. I had to jump through hoops to buy this dog from what I had thought was a very responsible breeder that I had purchased from. I did a lot of my research, and I had talked to this woman for 2 years before I chose her. I researched the dogs, the bloodlines, but what they don't tell you in the bloodlines and the dogs is they can have food allergies, and that does not show up on any of the health testings. They can have their eyes, ears, heart, hips, elbows, all kinds of test paperwork, but food allergies does not show up on that. This is before the litter was ever bred. The bloodlines were chose for breeding for the traits I needed for a service dog. This is the pre-planned breeding that you can see that she was to be bred in July in between her agility career for the female. This is my text with the breeder. This is after we had been talking for 2 years, and I had chose the female, and the male was chosen from a dog that had been imported from Europe, from Belgium, where the breed exists from. Okay, this is where you can see I did a puppy application, and she interviewed my vet. Okay, I had to do a vet interview and a puppy application on top of the contract I did. I did so much paperwork to qualify for this dog. Quiet. This is the puppy application. His contract is still boxed up. I do not have a copy of it, and I'm not going to show a copy of it because it shows my breeder information and it shows both our signatures on it. But the contract has things like I was not allowed to neuter without her permission. That's why I took him to her home in Texas 2 years ago when I went to Texas. I took him to her along with all my vet paperwork and the treatments he had been given so that she could see the problems he was having here in Georgia with his issues that I was talking about with the allergies. And I'm going to talk more about that later. She knew when she bred the litter that the female side of the line, no, we cannot go out right now. Come. Bring your toy. Get a toy. Bring your toy. Get your toy. Where's your bone? That she knew that he had allergies or would have food allergies. And we're going to touch on more on that. But I did not know that until I drove to Texas to pick him up. I was not told this until after I had already done all of this purchase pre-work to buy the dog and had already paid for the dog. I'm not going to go over what the price of the dog was, but you can tell he was quite expensive by everything that we go through here. You have to know, when the male was imported from Europe and the female had all he had and the male had all he had and the litter was planned the way it was, and as we get further into this, he was a very expensive dog. And I was never told about these food allergies, and I had a contract that had such things as he was not allowed to be neutered. I was never allowed to take him to a dog park, which I agree with. That breed should never go to a dog park. And there was a lot of other things on that list that I had to agree with. Now, that in itself, I don't like contracts. But when you're dealing with AKC show breeders, unfortunately, a lot of them love to control the dog for its life. And that is a part of it. And that's why I prefer to bring my dogs in from Europe. That's why I prefer to buy them from Europe. But you know what? You can't import puppies from Europe anymore. You can't do it. So now, guess what? We're stuck with things the way they are now. Because America has taken away that right. I'm sorry, I have to get a drink. I have acid reflux today. America has now taken that right away from us. We are no longer allowed to import puppies. I got my last import puppy in the newest working dog, and I had to rush to do that. Okay. Now, here's the puppy application, and I faxed it back to her. You saw the application. These may be out of order. I was approved. We know that because I got the dog. Everything was done. We got it. Cassandra also said that I do not feed my animals, can't afford to feed my animals. I have a reoccurring payment authorization where I get my supplies from Chewy shipped to me automatically. Do you see that amount? Just one bag of my regular dog food costs $85. My Ziwi Peak costs $65. My American dog food costs $85. Ziwi Peak costs $65. I mean, you see what I pay, okay? That's what I pay. It's on auto ship. I'm waiting for a shipment right now. See? Boom. Auto ship. I'm waiting for it to arrive right now. And here you go. When he got sent back to the breeder, he went on a private air flight. He didn't cargo. He didn't get drove. He was on a private flight and a private plane. He wasn't just rehomed. As per my contract, I'm sorry, the two dogs are playing. He was on a private air flight. But the breeder covered it because he had to go back to her because I bred him. She demanded him back because of the contract. She knew I got another service dog to work my other service dog. As per my contract, she demanded him back. It's in my contract. I did not choose to get rid of my dog. Fuck you, Cassandra. Fuck you. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Damn you to hell and fuck you. Fuck you. Private air flight. She bred him with allergies, knowing she bred him with allergies. He had to be retired. And he was not 7 or 8 years old. Okay? He just turned 5 last month. And he was having serious health conditions. He was on cortisone shots. He was on allergy shots. He was on skin medications. You yourself kept joking about his fucking hair. Right here. Here is the information. Georgia specifically has high pollen counts. Georgia makes the list for worst states for allergy sufferers. Absolutely 100%. Plus, he was also allergic to flea bites. He was on flea medications, but in order for a flea medication to kill a flea, the flea has to bite the animal. So not only did he have environmental allergies, he also had flea allergies. The dog was in torture. He lived indoors 100%. He had stopped working 100%. He was still fucking miserable. This dog is now living in a better state for him that is better for his skin, better for his health, and better for his happiness. Do I like it? No. Do I miss him? Yes. I fucking miss my dog. Did I like giving him up? No. And you are a fucking bully and a bitch. Leave me alone, Cassandra.